right, welcome back. Apologies for the delay in our starting of our program. We had some technical issues, but thank you so much for keeping it locked with us to continue this program. I said we have Modupe Phillips Adeyemo as a Zoom guest. We also have Zika Ezeagulu as a Zoom guest, and we have Yetunde Laura as the in-house guest. So I'm just going to start first. Let's start with Laura. We're already gisting behind the camera, so I'm just going to ask this. Now, when it comes to empowerment, do you think that women, when it comes to empowerment and rights, do you think women should have the same privilege, the same right as men when it comes to empowerment?
Yes, I actually think that, permit me, I'll go the way of my face.
Sure.
You see, when God created human beings, He created them male and female. And there was nowhere the Bible says the woman is inferior to the man. Right? Oh, yes, each of them have their, gender-based roles and all of that. But talking about empowerment, there is no basis for subjugating women to the background and relegating them and asking them to just take the back seat. So I think that women should be given the same opportunity to school, the same opportunity to work, the same opportunity to do business, the same opportunity in politics, in every other facet, to bring out the treasure that God has put in them. Yeah. So I think, yes, we should be given equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. Okay, I like that one. We should be given equal opportunity. Now, when it comes to men, I want to ask Zika. Zika, are you with us?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to ask now. She just said something. She said a man and a woman should have equal rights when it comes to empowerment. There shouldn't be any sidelining. If you're going to give this person the opportunity as a man, you should also give a woman the same opportunity. If you're going to pay this amount to a man, you should also pay the same amount to a woman when she takes on that seat, because why? She's all being empowered and she can do much. Now, I want to ask now, do you support women to be in leadership role? Why I say this is because I feel like sometimes women can be power toxic, because we are not really used to having this having this power role. Even growing up as a child, we're always being pampered. Yes, some people grow up to be very strong and all of that, but naturally women are pampered and all of that. So sometimes people feel that when women get leadership role, they become toxic. They look down on people, even their own fellow women. So do you think women should still be encouraged to be in the leadership role? And if you believe so, how do you think a woman can groom herself, even while she's been empowered as a leader? How do you think she should groom herself to be, so that other women can learn from her and be like her in case they get to that leadership role?
Okay. I'm not really clear with the question. The network is not great. But we'll just summarize based from what I just heard, glimpse of what I have heard. So I would like to talk about generally how women are faring, gender equality and empowerment in Nigeria. Nigeria ranked 181 out of 193 countries on the equality index, rather. In 2022, we ranked 123 out of 146 countries with women in governance. If we look at the Tinubu administration, women currently hold 17% of that 35% that we have set in the nation's national policy. And on that position, we have ministers in different areas. We have Minister of Tourism, Minister of Arts, Culture, Minister of Industry and Trade, Minister of Women Affairs, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. And just recently, the president just elected the executive director of operations, the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, Mojisola Oluwa Kehinde Ali Macaulay. So the figures are not so high, but it is better than what we had in the last administration. And if we don't have enough women to come out to be in the same room with the men, we don't have women presented for the general for most of us in society. For instance, out of 109 senators in the National Assembly, just 9 are women. And out of 360 House of members, representatives, 27 are women. So the low rate of women in this space in the key areas doesn't give us diversity of perspectives in policy formulation and implementation, and it trickles down to other areas of the industry. We have majorly men in these industries and less female. And they say as you go up success of that ladder, you see less and less women. And we would like to see that change, because I feel like testosterone doesn't make a leader. What makes a leader is confidence and grit. And I think women have that same ability to lead. We are very good at managing. We're good managers. We're also good at crisis management as well. So it would be great to see more women in areas like this, decision making as well as in leadership positions as well.
Okay, thank you very much. You kind of answered the question, but not really the direction I was expecting, because I was trying to look at the parts whereby women are part toxic. But I don't know, Laura, do you understand what the question I was trying to portray? Do you have, in just like 1 minute, you have an answer to that?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. I see what you said about women being power toxic is actually very true. I have seen a lot of women in positions who are very wicked to their fellow women, and I kind of think that this goes way back to our environment, our upbringing, the things that women have been taught, right? You talked about women being power. Yeah. I don't know. My reality, what I've seen is that women are being monitored, strictly monitored, taught how to sit, taught how to talk, how to go, how to present themselves, and then men are being cut the slack, right? So women are actually given the knowledge they need to lead. The only thing they are not given is the opportunity. So if they had been exposed to the opportunity from the onset, they are taught how to lead and how to manage leadership roles. I believe that by the time they get to the top of their career, they should be able to manage people more. It's just, they give them the training, but we take the opportunity away from them. So when they get access to the opportunity, eventually you see people misbehaving. What you're not used to doing, you just begin to misbehave. Yeah. So I think what is lacking is the opportunity to express the leadership roles that we have been taught and are innately in women. Right? So I think that is what is missing.
I just love your answer. Very simple and short. And the thing is, when you see a woman that is in a good position to lead and she's leading well, it's because at some point growing up, when we're teaching her how to sit, how to talk, how to breathe, how to manage the home, they gave her the opportunity growing up as a child. So when she got the power, she wasn't toxic. She was able to accommodate every other person, even her own gender. But when it comes to the part whereby women become toxic, I think what is missing is that thing you said. And that thing is, we give them the ability to be a leader, but not the opportunity to be a leader. So right now, I think it's a call for every woman, every parent out there to make sure that they give their child, while you're teaching her, whatever you're teaching her to become a better woman, you have to give her the opportunity to also lead. Now I'm going to ask Modupe Phillips, I want to ask, lack of empowerment in women, do you think is an equality issue or an equity issue? What do you think is? Modupe, did you hear me?
The question again, I can't really do well.
Okay, I said lack of empowerment in women. Do you think it's an equality issue or an equity issue?
Yes, I believe it's an equality issue, just like the last speaker said, like when a girl is being raised, already there's a bias, cultural bias already. When a girl is being raised, they will teach the girl, this is how to clean the house. As a girl, you grow to be a wife. These are what you do as a wife. But what about the leadership role? It's not the same opportunity. Same opportunity is not given to, that is given to a boy child, is not given to a girl child. A girl child is raised to be in the kitchen alone or in the other room, so to say. But as they are being trained, even from school, from when they are young, let's imbibe that leadership role. Let's teach them that tomorrow you are going to be a leader. And they are training also in their training. Leadership should be introduced to a girl, not a boy again, not a boy alone. And also in our politics, we can see that in Nigeria, in politics, you see more men than women. This thing is from the background. The way the girls are raised is different from the way boys are raised. In fact, you can see if a woman is trying to contest an election, some people in some quarters will be telling the woman that you belong to the kitchen, take care of the home, don't bother to rub shoulders with men. All these are the issues. That is why you are not seeing women coming out to do or to lead. And I believe that if a woman is given equal opportunity, they will do better even than our men. I can give you an example of Dora. Really, you can see what Dora did with NAFDAC. You understand? Other men have been there. We've been seeing men that led NAFDAC. But when a woman led NAFDAC, that is under the leadership of Dora, we can see that there was a clear difference. So God that created us did not make women to be inferior to men or girls inferior to boys. It is our belief, it's our culture that is putting the girls, that is relegating the girls, that they belong to the kitchen, they belong to the other room. But if we give them equal opportunity, equal education, equal opportunity, we expose them to the same training, the same leadership training. Girls, women will strive in leadership and in every aspect of our economy.
What you're trying to say is cultural background or cultural belief is one of the most significant barrier we have in women empowerment. Is that what you're saying, Mrs. Modupe?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Because in this part of the world, Africa generally, we believe that women or girls belong to the other room, belong to the kitchen alone. And in our training, when you are training a girl, you are already training the girl, sit this way, stay in the kitchen with mom. You can't go out, you can't be playing. You are going to be a woman later. You are going to be and this is what a wife is supposed to do. But what about the leadership role? What about the leadership role? What about even when you're teaching a child how to control the home, how to arrange the kitchen? What about introducing the child to leadership role? What about taking a girl child for a leadership school? What about taking a girl child to leadership courses? Because we know that a girl can do even better what a boy can do. So it's a cultural thing that we need to remove. All the bias and barrier against women must be removed if we want women to be able to compete or to be able to be on the same level with men.
Growing up as a child, like you said, there's the opportunity and all of that. So a time came, I saw something as a leadership training, and it was very far into the north. I think it was Jos, I think, or Plateau State. So I told my father, I said, I want to go for this thing. It was like that far because of leadership. I said, yes. Like, I've seen a lot of people whereby they're part toxic. Even growing up as a child, I see some women, you can see, and it's not as though when they've gotten to that level, it even affects their home. They don't even know how to differentiate and put the difference. Okay, that's your work, be a boss. They kind of bring it to their house. So I had to go as far out in school sharing with Jos. Okay, Jos, yes, to actually go and learn how to do leadership. And I scaled through. In fact, most of the guys were like, you are even supposed to be a man. I said, no. It's because I wanted to learn so that I could sit where you're sitting, but not to take over your role, but to sit where you're sitting and say, I can also do this. So it's just an avenue for women to actually make sure that while you're training the guys to lead and cutting them some slack, at the same time, let the woman also lead so that they can be able to empower themselves. And I believe when you can empower yourself, you generally, when you see other women, you'll be able to empower other women too. So I'm going to ask Zika. Zika, are you there with us? Zika there? Okay, so Zika, what do you think should be the change institutionally, or let's use constitutionally and in the society? What do you think should change so that women can be empowered? What are the things that need to be changed? In just 2 minutes, can you answer that question?
Okay, what should change? As a society, I think that we should give women a chance um, to show off their talents and be who they full potential to be who they are and contribute to society. Like I said before, the set um, figures in the national gender policy was 35%. That means we need to have that amount of women in all areas, in all sectors, actively participating. So far, like I said before, we have 17.8 ministerial positions already. Tinubu is doing his best to improve on the figures, which is good for women. So it helps with decision making, it helps with mentoring, it helps with sponsorships, it helps with development programs for women as well. So it trickles down to all of us when we have women in those positions that can also help people underneath. It will also be noteworthy to say that we need to respect women. There was an incident that happened a few days ago where the National Senate President made a comment to a member of the House. And it just goes to show you how much women go through at the workplace, and we don't really talk about, we don't get to see every day. He corrected himself, he apologized for that, but it just shows you a glimpse of what women go through in the society, especially in Africa. And so it'll be great to see programs that enlighten organization on gender biases, unconscious gender biases, how to respect each other, provide equality, pay people for the jobs that they do. For instance, if a woman is in a place of position, she shouldn't be paid based on her gender. She should be paid based on the job that she does. So review those paychecks and see all the lapses where they have the lapses with the gender roles and pay them based on the job done. Also provide sponsorship programs for the women to learn, to share experiences and also professionally as well. So these are some of the in society.
Thank you very, very much for that one. I really like you. You actually brought it down to the very last that I was expecting. So maybe there is more out there that we still need to change. What she just said what was in my mind, and said it all. So I want to ask you, Laura, how do we tackle our challenges from our position of strength? You know, as a woman, we have the strength inside of us. In fact, I don't know how to, we can't quantify or qualify this strength. Let me use that word. Because, you know, as a lady, you've never thought about giving birth, but you know, when you got to that bridge, you crossed it. Then you never thought of handling your husband at the same time, handling your own parents, handling the mother-in-laws, handling your children. That strength came from within, and on, and you still work. You still cook, you still do everything. Now, from the position of strength, how do you think we women can tackle these challenges that we face when it comes to empowering ourselves and empowering other women to out there?
Thank you. I kind of like that question because it goes with what I was just thinking. A lot of times you see this empowerment thing we're talking about. The women who have been able to fight their ways to the top, they were not given on a platter of gold. They fought their ways to the top, and that boils down to the fact that you've got to first of all believe in your capacity and your ability to do it. I'll give an instance. I was speaking to one of my friends, and you know, he just stepped down as the vice chairman of the MBA of his branch. A man, and was the vice chairman, and the chairman is a female. You know, I caught myself thinking, why didn't he vie for the chairmanship? And then I caught myself, I'm like, wait, that is something that the culture has instilled in me. Like, you know, it goes way back to when we were in school, when the class captain would be a man, it would be a boy, and the assistant class captain has to be a female. Yeah. So whenever you attend who wants to be class captain, it must be a boy that you would nominate. Exactly. And you know, and that went with me until this moment. So each time I'm trying to get a leadership position, what the community, the culture has taught me, kind of makes me feel like, can you really do this, it takes extra effort for me to want to fight my way to the top. And that goes to tell us how to, train and instill this thing, self-worth, and all of that in our female children. So first of all, it is for women who are already above the level of parents training them. We've got to retrain ourselves, reorientate ourselves, like I did. Catch yourself thinking, I can't do it, and tell yourself, babe, you can do this, right? And then strive, even in the midst of your fears, right? Try it. If you fail, you learn. I was telling one of my friends who was saying, if we fail, we fail. I said, if you fail, you learn. If you succeed, you
succeed.
But if you fail, you have not failed, you have learned. You have only failed once you stop trying. So you keep trying and keep trying, and by the time people see you and the traits you portray, they will now hand you the opportunity to show them more. There are projects that I've told my parents, I've told people around me that, see, I want to do this thing, and they're like, you can't do that. And then I told them I'll do it. And then I did it. By the time I take the first step, the 10th step, they begin to support me to get to the 100th step. But I've got to show them that I can do the first 10 things before they not supported me to do the next 90 things. Yes. So it goes to, first thing is, let's work on our self-worth as women, and let's tell the society that, this thing that they think we cannot do, we are able to do it. And mentorship is something that will help a lot, right? And I'm glad you mentioned it to your question. By the time you fight your way to a particular, you don't need to get to the top of the top before you mentor other women. By the time you are on level 10, begin to mentor those on level 0 to 9. Let those on level 20 mentor those on level 10. And then we can pull ourselves up like that. Enough for women is the highest enemy of women. Let's stop that. Let's begin to pull ourselves up, and then before you know it, we will be able to get ourselves in that position, and nobody will be able to contend with the fact that women are actually worth the opportunity, the leadership positions that we say that we want. Okay, I think that's
Thank you so much. I could see the fire spitting. I had to shift a little bit, so if I haven't not touched me. But thank you very much. You did justice to that question. So before we go, I'm going to ask all my Zoom guests to give us one last advice, whatever they have to say to women out there when it comes to equity and inclusion. Always be part of the movement of empowerment when it comes to women. I don't want the woman supporting woman or women supporting women, and from the back, the women supporting women is not working. We want the real women supporting women. So I'm going to start with Modupe. Please, just give us in 1 minute advice to women to make sure they are part of this women empowerment, both by equity and inclusion. So please.
Okay, what the advice that I have for women is to, first of all, believe in yourself. You are not inferior to any man. Believe in yourself and keep striving, keep training yourself. Then also get a mentor. Get yourself a good mentor that can mentor you to get to the level that you believe God has ordained you to be. Don't let anybody, any cultural belief put you down. You've got great things loaded inside of you. So do not allow yourself to relegate to the background. Thank you.
Very much. I hope we heard that. Women, please listen. These are women in power talking already. I can see all the look. If I read some of these guest profile, we will not. In fact, we'll use 20 minutes to read their profiles. But I just pick the most interesting part so that you can also know that the people we're bringing on board are not. Let me use the word. They are not just. They don't come to play. They come to want to talk, and they always are interested in reaching out to women. That is why they are here. So I'm going to ask Zika, what is your last words to women out there who are looking up to you? You're a voiceover artist, you're a broadcast journalist too. So in your industry, what will you tell women? How will you tell them that you can do this in just 1 minute?
Not sure about the question, but my last words to women is working hard and being yourself. One day we will take the world.
We'll take the world. That's like Pinky and the Brain. Thank you very much. Okay, at this point, I would like to let Modupe Phillips Adeyemo. Remember, Modupe Phillips Adeyemo, she's an educator, a holistic child advocate, and a sex education coach. She's a lot more. Thank you so much, Modupe, and also thank you, Zika Eziagolu. She's a professional voiceover artist, a media personality, a media head at Inspire Marketing and Branding International. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining. Thank you. Can you wave us bye so we can let you go? Thank you so much, Ma. Okay. I think they heard that. Possibly the network is bad. So at this point, I'm just gonna. We can't take any tips for today. We already took the tips to avoid back pain, and I hope we can actually maintain that. You know, when you're sitting, you're sitting for too long, or your office chair is not so comfortable. Sometimes take a break. Make sure you rest well. Avoid some particular positioning. Avoid some kind of food. So you don't have back. We women will easily have back pains. You understand? So try to make sure that you take care of your health because it's very important. You don't want to be using walking stick to walk when you are old. There's some old men that walk without walking stick. So try to avoid anything that will, affect your back. So at this point, I would like to say thank you so much, Laura. Laura came with the fire. Thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me over.
You're very welcome. So thank you everyone for joining us.